Hey, YouTube family, it is Steffi. I am here on day 39 of my 90-day YouTube challenge to have a monetized channel by January of 2025. And today we're going to go over step 3 of the transformation framework, and I'm going to talk about the power of discipline. So stick around. Hello, it is Monday. It is November 18th, and Monday is Analytics Day. So if you're interested in exactly what's happening with the channel, stick around to the end of the video, and I'm going to briefly go over what happened in the last week. It's all good news. I'm super encouraged to watch the growth. So thank you to those of you who have contributed to that. But first, I'm going to go through the lesson of this week. If you've watched any of the other videos, perhaps you know that last week there was a bit of a lull. Last Monday's analytics were not so hot. I actually didn't even cover them because some things had occurred over the course of post-election energies that I really felt compelled to address and deal with, that I felt warranted my first and foremost attention. So I did step away from my discipline. But here's the beauty of what I'm going to be sharing with you today. You know, I teach the transformation framework. It is 4 steps over 4 weeks that will absolutely have you falling in love with discipline and flying towards the life you desire and deserve. There is not a goal that you cannot approach with the transformation framework. Whatever it is you have that you desire to accomplish, this is a 4-week framework that gets you from point A to point Z and allows you to see everything in the middle that isn't working, all the ways in which you stand in your own way to get from where you are to where you want to be. And that is what the transformation framework does. That is the system I am using in this exact challenge for myself. I am taking 90 days to build a monetized YouTube channel because that tends to be a much more realistic time frame around developing the kind of following that leads to any type of monetization here on YouTube. I had growth. In spite of the fact that the last week was a bit of a challenge, here's the beauty of step 3 of the transformation framework. I'm going to go through all steps briefly just so you're up to speed. Step number 1 of the transformation framework is to have a clear, focused, and singular intention. We have to know what we want. It has to be specific. Number 2, you must understand what it takes to get there. You have to do your due diligence and discover the aspects of you, the aspects of your life, everything that needs to be reoriented and put into place so that you can move in the direction of your goal efficiently and effectively. Number 3, the one we're going to be covering today, is you must create a list of commitments that are realistic to your lifestyle. You have to be aware of what your life currently looks like and what it will permit in the way of change. But you have to create that list of commitments, and you have to be willing to hold yourself to that discipline in order for you to get where you want to be. And lastly, step 4 of the transformation framework is this does not happen in a vacuum. We do not change our entire life all by ourselves. We need a supportive community of like-minded folks on a similar journey. They don't have to be doing the same thing you're doing, but they need to be working towards something of their own, and they need to hold you accountable while you in turn hold them accountable. It's a symbiotic relationship when we find this group of people, or even it can just be one person. So that's the outline of the transformation framework. Those are the things that I teach and share and help people understand and develop in real time, because it isn't just about knowing those 4 things. It's really about seeing what aspect of you gets in the way of allowing those 4 things to come to fruition. So that's what we spend 28 days doing in the transformation framework. There's information about it. I hold it weekly throughout the year. It is a group effort on Zoom. Go to my Podius site and click on the transformation framework page. It'll tell you a little bit about how we do the work. And there's a whole bunch of testimonies from people who've been through the process, if that's something you feel like you need help with. If you have a goal you haven't been able to reach and you know that you're the thing in the way, the transformation framework is exactly what you need. So let me get back to Step number 3, create a list of commitments that are realistic when it comes to the life I live, and commit myself to doing them on a daily basis. Here is where that step was so useful. I did get knocked off of my discipline last week. I go into that in 2 other videos prior to this. Coming back from some time off, coming back from the lull in the channel growth that I experienced can be profoundly disconcerting. It can be a big disappointment. At 5 weeks in, it can make anybody throw up their hands, even the most dedicated person at reaching their goal, throw up their hands and say, well, what's the use? Life's always going to be getting in the way. Nope, nope, nope. 5 weeks ago, a little over, I wrote a list of daily commitments. And although I was pulled away from them for an extraordinarily good reason, I don't get to wake up and let how I feel determine doing what it is I know I need to do. Discipline is the act of doing the thing we don't want to do simply because it needs doing. It doesn't matter how I feel about it. It doesn't matter what I want. Nobody gives a crap about what I think. When it comes to pursuing my goal, when it comes to you pursuing your goal, how you feel, what you think, what you want, all of that applied to me? No, it doesn't matter, because how I feel, what I think, and what I want is the reason I haven't gotten any other thing I've ever wanted and not had in the course of my life. And by recognizing that, by addressing that, by turning it around and going, Steph, it doesn't matter. Doesn't matter how you feel. Doesn't matter what you think. Nobody gives a you know what about what you want. You do it because you said you were going to do it. You do it because it needs to be done if you want to get where you're going. Now here, I've shared in another video, I am at the point in this journey, maybe you're at the point in your journey, where nothing's happening. You know, there's a lot of work that has to get done before anything becomes an overnight success. Ask anybody who's ever had that moniker applied to them, oh, you're an overnight success. They'll say, yeah, it took me 10 years to become an overnight success. There's no such thing as overnight success. There's a whole lot of days and weeks and months and sometimes years working in the dark with no fanfare, with no feedback, with it looking as if not a single soul cares or is paying attention except for you. You have to be the light in that dark space. You have to say, I'm going to do it because it needs doing, not because it feels good, not because I want to. In fact, I knew last week when I was finally kind of through what I needed to handle with the people in my life, I knew that I had to get right back to taking care of me, taking care of my commitments, keeping my discipline to this goal of a monetized YouTube channel. And I did it. I didn't want to do it, but I made a commitment. And here's what you learn in step 3 in the transformation framework. Yes, it's important that we do the thing we don't want to do simply because it needs doing. But do you know why that is? There's a very specific reason why we have to do what needs doing in spite of how we feel about it. And that is because we as humans love to make grandiose claims. We love to throw out into the future what we're going to do, what we're going to manage, what we're going to achieve. We love to talk about stuff. We love to dream and envision and think about where we're going. But when we tell ourselves we're going to do something and we don't, we learn to not be able to trust ourselves. There's an aspect of untrustworthiness that seeps in. And it isn't you not being able to trust another person. It's a mortal wound when you repeatedly make promises to you that you don't keep. You dig that wound deeper and deeper with every unkept promise, with every unrealized goal. You learn that you can't trust you. And that's a rough thing to come back from. I have learned time and time and time again in my life because I've used this tool in so many different areas of my life for many years. I've learned I have to be trustworthy to myself. It's not worth it to feel good in the moment, to say, I don't feel like making a video today. Nobody's watching it anyway. Damn, why do I have to do this? First of all, I don't have to do anything in the transformation framework. We get to do it. You get to do whatever it is you're chasing. You wake up and get to go pursue your dream. There's no have to here. We're not children. We're not babies. We get to do it. So when we understand that we get to do it, and we know that we've made a promise to ourselves. I made a promise to myself. I kept the most important parts of my commitments to myself. I kept the most important part of my program, and the things that could be let go, they were let go. But when it came time to wrap up business and get back to standing on my business, I did it. I didn't want to do it. It felt weird because here we go. I kind of got to get used to this again. But I get to do it. And I got myself to do it. And I kept my word to myself. And when you keep your word to you, when you discover that you can trust yourself, this is why I say everything's possible. Going through this program, people learn the value of speaking truth to themselves. A lot of people experienced a profound transformation in the transformation framework, not because they set a goal and got to it in 28 days. They understand, I have been lying to myself my whole entire life. I don't want to lie to myself anymore because I just saw what that looks like, how that shows up, what behaviors that elicits in me when I have that sense of, I can't trust me. Because guess what comes after I can't trust me? I'm not worth it. I'm not worthy. I don't deserve the truth. I certainly don't deserve my dream or my goal. The transformation framework, it's 4 steps over 4 weeks, but it is a surgical, metaphysical metamorphosis that takes you on a journey into the deepest and darkest parts of you, every nook and cranny that is no longer of service or that hasn't been of service for a very long time. And we weed that out day by day. It's a daily program. Yeah, you go for 4 weeks. There's 1 class a week on Zoom, but it is daily work. Every single day we get into, why am I in my way? How am I in my way? What do I need to do to get me out of my way? I've been doing this with myself for years. So instead of getting in my way, after 5 days of being off my game, I came back swinging because that's who I am. Because I've learned the value of keeping my word to me. I've learned the power of holding myself to a discipline. I've learned what it feels like to walk with my chins up and my head held high. Because not only did I tell myself the truth and keep my word, the confidence that comes from that is mind-numbing. There's nothing I can't do. If you think I'm not going to have a monetized YouTube channel by January, guess again, friend. I am going to get exactly where I'm going and then some. Like I've said in other videos, I have goals I won't even voice out loud right now because I'll sound like a lunatic. But, you know, check back in January if you decide not to follow along on the regular, because I'm going to be exactly where I say I'm going to be. And then it's on to the next thing. This transformation framework that I share with people, you can apply this anywhere in your life. This is applicable across the grand spectrum of your whole entire life experience. You can use it every day for the rest of your life to get exactly where it is you want to be in every single nook and cranny in your life. This is pure magic. So I am using this magic. I am out of my way, and the analytics show it. I am going to show you what's happened in the last few days, in the last week, since I am going to show you what's happened in the last week since I checked in and didn't even bother to bring the analytics because they were abysmal. Let's hit that. Let's take a look at the analytics screen. I'm going to bring it up right now. Okay, here we go. We have green arrows across the board. I mean, if I didn't tell you that when I'm pulling up the analytics for the last week on the computer, if I did, If I told you that I wasn't full of all kinds of angst while I'm waiting for that screen to load for the analytics for the last week, every single week, I'd be lying. While I'm waiting for that to pop up in my mind, all I want to know is I need to see 3 green arrows across the board. I need to see 3 green arrows, and lo and behold, today I saw 3 green arrows. We are up 400% more with views. There were 1.2 thousand views in 7 days. The watch time is 10 hours. That's 230-ish% more than just 1 week ago. And I actually doubled my subs. They were 100% more by adding 6 subs this week. So yeah, peep that, brothers and sisters. Green arrows all the way across. That's what happened. So I am excited. I am super grateful to every one of you who have shown up here, who have lent your eyeballs and lent your comments and lent your support to this channel and my dream. Thank you so much. I do have a free group in Podia. It's called In the Loop. If you're chasing a dream or you decide today to join me on this journey, I want you to have the support you need. I want you to be encouraged. I send out inspiration and information on a weekly basis so that you can start flying towards the life you desire and deserve. So hit that link, drop me your email, download the free PDFs that are available for you to start moving towards achieving your goals. As always, it is such an honor to be here with you. You are so seen. You are so loved. Aho.